So my frame of reference was born out of the challenges that take place when there's not consistent staffing, and or where staff have a lot of different people that they need to care for and they don't have all of the information that they need about each resident. And so I was working in this one particular building and they just happened to have a lot of turnover, and residents would be coming out without eyeglasses, residents would be coming out, you know, with not using the right type of walking device. Maybe they were not using a walker and they had one, or they were in a wheelchair and they should have been using a walker. So this kind of began this idea of using like picture care plans. The other side, and I'll get back to that in a second, then the other thing that was happening was that the staff didn't know the people's names, so they would walk into a room and they would just say, "Oh, hi ma'am, hi sir," and because they didn't even know, I mean, they would often refer to them as, "Oh, I have that room number," but it was like there was no person in there, and again, because they were brand new, trying to take in all this information about one person was quite difficult because they had so many other people they had to care for. So what we did was we said, okay, let's join them, right? If you can't beat them, join them. So we accepted the fact that the staff were probably not going to have enough time to read through their entire care plan before they went into each person's room, nor would they probably even be able to remember them. So what we did was we took all of the information, and so the first my frame of reference is a social background. So for instance, if the person's name is David, but he likes to be called Dave, what the top of my frame of reference says what I like to be called. So that the minute we're calling him Dave, we now become somebody that's informal to him, somebody who is maybe familiar to him, and so now he's going to be a bit more responsive than if we say, "Oh, hi Mr. Stein," right? Because that's a very formal way of talking, and perhaps for him, his whole life he's been called Dave, and when people call him David, it's a very either distressing situation or a very formal setting. So by just even calling people by the right name, it allows the person to be able to be more comfortable. So what we did then was we said, okay, well, what are the other things that will be helpful? So if Mrs. Jones, for instance, doesn't want to get up for breakfast, but we know that she absolutely loves coffee and toast and it's her favorite thing to eat, then what we can say to her is, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, I don't want your coffee to get cold. Do you want to get up and just have your coffee?" So that the staff, again, are having this information right at their fingertips so that they can be providing better care. The second frame of reference, which is the personal care frame of reference, goes in the bathroom, and that's the one that has things like hearing aids and eyeglasses and dentures and things like that, so that the staff can make sure that the resident is most independent in using all of the extra devices that they need to be able to be most independent for their whole day. This one day we went into this building where there was high turnover, and there was a new staff member who was in the room, and I went and I noticed she did a great job with her resident, so I went to her and I said, "I'm just curious, how did you do so well with her considering it's your first day?" And she said, "Oh, come, let me show you." And she brought me into her room and she showed me the resident's mind frame of reference. She said, "When I was first hired, I was taught to look for those in each room, and I would have the basic information that I need to know about every single resident." I mean, I wanted to hug her and kiss her. I was so excited, right? So the benefits of using my frame of reference is that it helps staff to better care for the residents by having that information that they need right at their fingertips. The second thing is that it signals to family members that your residents, your community, is really serious about caring for people with dementia. You're not just saying the right thing, but people can see it literally hanging on the wall. It's a very tangible expression that your organization understands the needs of people with dementia. It helps to increase census by giving marketing another point of differentiation about your community. It's a brand new tool, and so the more people that are using it, it's kind of spotty for right now. So at this point, people are able to look at that and say, "Oh wow, these people are doing something really different than other groups." And then the final thing it does is, again, it helps staff to engage with the residents who have some sort of cognitive impairment, which should be the goal and should be, you know, kind of the ultimate expression of what you want your staff to be doing with your residents.